What's up, guys? This is Caleb with ANSI Seal. Wanted to make a quick video, something that you can go look back on, you can get some information from continuously. I'm gonna tag this on YouTube so you can go and look back at it at any time. But today I wanted to talk specifically about ANSI Seals. ANSI Seals. So an ANSI seal goes on an ANSI pump. ANSI pump, an example would be like a Gould's 3196, Griswold 811, Summit 2196, Peerless 8196. All of these things are ANSI pumps. So what do I mean by an ANSI pump? An ANSI pump is a very consistent, probably one of the most common pieces of equipment in the entire world, definitely in your market as well. So what does that mean for you? That means that you're going to be able to find these in a number of your customers. Probably most of your customers are going to have an ANSI pump. They could be pumping water, they could be pumping hydrochloric acid, they could be pumping iron fines, they could be pumping a million different things with this same type of equipment. So you'll probably see a Griswold 811, that's what you sell, that's what you have access to, but then also a lot of your customers have all these other brands and all the other names that we've talked about. They're very common, which means that our seals are very common. This right here is an example of a ANSI type seal. This is an 1 3/8" shaft size. It is a big bore seal, and we call this our SMS, so stationary multi-spring is what this one is. This also comes in a rotating bellows design. They're very common, so that means we keep them on the shelf. We can ship those normally in 1 to 3 days, so very available, very affordable as well, because we make so many of them. So let's talk about a few things that you're going to see with an ANSI pump. First off, they come in very standard shaft sizes. So 1 3/8", 1 3/4", 1 7/8" if it's a Durco size. So Flowserve or Durco, they make an ANSI pump, but it's slightly different. Don't worry about the details there, but it's just a little bit different. So the shaft size is going to be a little bit larger there, 1 7/8". Also, you would find a 2 1/8", 2 1/2", and then 2 5/8" as well for, once again, the Durco size in the larger pumps. A couple things that I need to know from you whenever we are sizing this pump or sizing the seal to go in the pumps that you have. So first and foremost is, what is it? Is it a Gould's? Is it, I need to know if it's an ANSI pump for sure, but what is the frame size? So you notice that I talked about all these different shaft sizes, and each of those shaft sizes correlates with a specific frame size. An 1 3/8", that's an S frame. An 1 3/4", an 1 7/8", those are M frames, or what they call group 2s. An 1 7/8", or I was going to say 2 1/8", that's going to be your L frame. 2 1/2", that's going to be your XL frame. So what is the frame size? An easy way to see this is it's normally just stamped on the side of the casting. So there's actually an M, or it says MTO, or it says MTX. There's going to be a letter on the size. M is probably the most common size across the world, but it could be an S, it could be an M, it could be an L, or an XL. So I need to know what that frame size is, because that's going to tell me what the shaft size is. So that's critical, first and foremost. Secondly, with an ANSI pump is the bore. So they come in different bore sizes. This one, like I was saying, this is a large bore. If you notice where the gasket is, it's stepped out away from the shaft. So you notice that this shaft circle here versus the gasket circle is a pretty decent amount of space. If this was a standard bore, then it would be a lot closer. The distance would be a lot more narrow. So I need to know what that bore is. Is it a standard bore? Is it a big bore? Or is it a taper bore? Taper bore and a big bore are the same seal. They're just a little bit different in the pump. So don't worry about those details right this second. So what is the bore? That's the second question. What's the frame size? What's the bore? And then, of course, what's the product? This is for any mechanical seal that I'm going to size for you, or I'm going to choose for you. What is the product? Is it water? Or is it hydrochloric acid, like I was saying? What's the concentration of whatever it is? The easiest way to do this is just get an SDS sheet. So go to your customer and they say, hey, well, this is HC204. Just ask them for an SDS sheet. Send that to me. We can figure it all out from there 9 times out of 10. Ask them if it's clean, ask them if it's dirty, ask them if it has suspended solids, does it normally crystallize? Ask all those kind of questions if it's something special. If it's water, then really all you gotta say is it clean or dirty water. That's really simple. So what we've asked so far, what is the frame size? What is the bore size? And then what is the product? What are we pumping? The next would be your temperature. So what is the temperature of this product? The temperature matters for a couple of reasons. One, what metals are we going to put in it? Is it above the threshold of 316? Do we need to put special alloys in there? But most importantly, that's going to have to do with your O-rings. So our standard for this kind of seal is going to be Viton or Aflas. Those don't cost any different for us, but that's just a very standard O-ring material. Well, let's say it's over 400 degrees. So then we're gonna have to get into something like Calrez or a higher end elastomer because of the temperature. But if we throw Viton in there and it turns out to be 500 degrees, then that seal is not gonna last very long. So the temperature is critical. So far, these are the questions that we've asked. We've asked what the frame size was, the frame size. We've asked what the bore size was. We've asked what the product was, and then we asked what the temperature was. And so at that point, those 4 questions, you should have enough information for me to move forward with a quote and to answer those questions very specifically. So ANSI Seals, very simple, very easy, and very, very common across the board. The last thing that I'll touch on with ANSI Seals is that all of these are repairable. So if it's mine, if it's a John Crane, if it's a Chesterton, FlowServe, AES, ASI, any of those, we can repair those seals. So if you run into a customer that has any of those other brands, but they have ANSI pumps, then ask them if we can repair them. Just say, hey, what do you do with your old seals? Do you throw them in the trash, or do you have another company repair them? What are you doing right now, and can we get a shot at it? So this is an easy, simple way to just attain really standard business. So we're effective from a lead time, cost, and then our quality is bar none. We can compete on quality with anyone across the world. So know that if you're selling ANSI Seals, that you're selling a quality product when it comes from FlexiSeal. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think. If you'd like for me to continue to do these, I'd be happy to. So give me some feedback one way or another. But thank you guys for your support and everything that you're doing for FlexiSeal. Have a good one.